All right, our main slate tonight, 5 games, locking at 7:05 p.m. Eastern. What is your favorite DFS play from this slate, Nick?
Well, I'm looking at a value bet right now in Josh Bell. And before I say anything further, make sure you guys check the lineup because I know Ryan Zimmerman filled in the other night. Bell's supposed to be the starter, but just make sure, that day off he should still be out there. But I want a piece of the Merrill Kelly action. He's going with 10 innings, giving up a couple bombs over 2 starts. He's not generating swing and misses either. So I feel very comfortable that I'm going to get value out of Josh Bell in this one. There are other guys to be had. There are other good options, but I feel like if you're trying to save a little bit of money, Josh Bell is the way to go.
Yeah, 3,600 for Josh Bell. All right, who is your favorite DFS play from this late slate, Steve?
I like Justin Turner going tonight, facing Austin Gomber over with the Rockies, who, by the way, has walked more batters than innings pitched so far this season. He's locked 11 guys and 9 in the third inning. If there's anything you don't want to do when facing the Dodgers is put men on base, because Justin Turner is going to come walking up to the plate, who's smoking the ball right now, because all he does is hit left-handed pitching well. Since the beginning of last season, 364 WOBA, a 203 isolated power, and a 131 WRC plus. So put that situation where there's men on base, Turner comes up, he's got his big red flowing beard, he hits one out to center field, all these guys score, and now there's all the fantasy points you would want and need on this small slate. So Justin Turner, big fan of him tonight. Put him in your lineup.
Yeah, for 5,500, put him in your lineup. Garion, where are you going for this?
I should preface this by saying I don't think there's a bad matchup on tonight's slate. Like, there's no good pitchers pitching. So you can pretty much put anyone in your lineup and it's perfectly fine. But at the same time, when you're staring at shortstop and Bo Bichette is only the 4th most expensive shortstop going up against Jake Junis, who, if you go from 2018 to 2020, among pitchers who threw at least 300 innings, there was 50 of them. Junis, 1.67 home runs per 9. That's the 3rd highest mark within that span. And Bo Bichette's on fire right now. His last 36 plate appearances, he has a 838 slugging percentage and a 237 WRC plus. He tied a Joe DiMaggio record yesterday, because that's a thing that happens, I guess. He's hot, and he's only, again, the 4th most expensive shortstop in this slate. I don't really get it. I think stacking both sides of that game, Royals and Blue Jays, is probably going to be a pretty good tactic tonight, especially if Tanner Roark ends up pitching in this one. So 4,900 seems pretty good for Bichette.
Seems pretty good. How about your favorite bet from the 7 p.m. slate? Where are you going to go for this one, Steve?
Yeah, so you know what? This is a slate that is really odd and everything. So why don't we just back really bad teams? How about the Tigers over 3.5 runs at -108? I mean, to be fair, this Tigers team averaging 6.6 runs per game over their last 3 games. Their offense has been doing pretty well. And this was a very, very good club against lefties last year. Like, we want to talk, we keep bringing up that Dope Kenny, who was saying today, they're not that good against lefties so far. They have the lowest plate appearances against lefties so far this season at 58. For reference, Houston leads the league at 223. So let's give them a little chance to actually get some reps in against lefties. But if you go back to the numbers last year, they were one of the best offenses in the league against lefties. So again, a low total. You're getting close to plus money on this one. It's only at -108. This could move a little bit as the day goes on, but over 3.5 runs is not asking for a lot against an offense that, quite frankly, is hitting the ball already. So over 3.5 runs, that's what I'm looking at for tonight.
All right, Garion, where are you going?
I'm going to stick in that same game, and it's because I fear the Tigers offense that I'm not looking to back Oakland on the money line or invest all that heavily in Sean Manaea. But I will say his strikeout prop is pretty low on this slate. It's just 4.5. And yes, Manaea is not a guy who, dating back to his sophomore season has been a strikeout pitcher, even though we thought he had the potential to be that when he was a prospect. However, you look at his first 2 starts, there's a couple things you have to know. One, both were against Houston, who right now has the lowest strikeout rate in the American League. So the fact that he didn't rack up a bunch of strikeouts makes a lot of sense. They're at 18.6%. The Tigers are one of 7 teams in baseball with a strikeout rate above 27%. So they're going to help him out in that regard. Also, his average fastball velocity is back up to 91.5 miles per hour. That doesn't seem like a lot, but for him, that's the highest it's been since 2017. So he might be, I don't want to say like a renaissance because he was never that good to begin with, but I think he's a solid pitcher. He had a really good 6-inning start against the Astros last time. If he can survive 6 innings against the Tigers, he's going to strike out at least 5 guys.
Nick, these guys are focused on this Tigers game. What about you?
I'm not going to be. And I feel a little, I don't know if I say dirty for taking this one, but we got Rockies Dodgers under 7.5, 7.5 runs. I had it at plus money before, but that's changed a little bit. I'm seeing that minus 110. Look, it's not in Coors Field. So if it was at Coors Field, I wouldn't even remotely entertain this. But the Dodgers have gone under Thursday's total 6 out of 8 times so far this season, outside of their opening series at Coors. The Rockies haven't gone over this total at all yet on the road. So I'm going to ride that right now, see if I can get a little bit lucky. And then Urias is pitching tonight too. And Urias has been, he did great against the Rockies last time at Coors. So I feel like we're going to get that there too, again tonight.
All right, Steve begrudgingly nodding his head. All right, Slate approved pick. Lock of the night. This could be Sportsbook. This could be DFS. Where are you going, Garion?
I'm going to go back and just say stack the Royals, stack the Jays. There's going to be a lot of runs scored in that game, and it's a weird slate. I don't know what else I super trust. That I trust.
All right, Nick, what do you trust?
Rich Hill over 5.5 Ks against the Rangers. He's been getting another guy who's getting a strikeout per inning, and I'm not saying he's going to go out and shove against the Rangers necessarily, but he did well against the Marlins in the strikeout department and the Yankees. Those are two teams that are not among the 15 worst in strikeouts so far this season, and the Rangers lead the league in strikeouts so far. So Rich Hill over 5.5 Ks tonight. Lock it.
Steve, Slate approved pick, please.
I mean, look, lock of the day, lock of the night, and the April 15th slate do not go hand in hand. There's not many great things on this slate, so it's going to be a boring answer, but just continue to stack the Dodgers while they face this putrid Rockies team, one of the worst bullpens in the league, one of the worst pitching staffs in the league. It's a boring answer. No, everybody knows that already because you're all smart, beautiful people, but just stick with what you know.